Welcome to CloudForge Training Institute. In this session, we will discuss about what are the types of EBS volumes available in the AWS account and what is snapshots, how to create the EBS volumes from the snapshot, and how to detach the EBS volumes from the EC2 instance, and other topics we will see. Amazon offers different types of EBS volumes based on performance and workloads. So they are mostly classified into SSD and HDD volumes. Whenever you are planning to buy external hard drives, you are looking for the SSD and HDD. When compared to SSD, HDD performance is very low. So mostly we choose SSD hard disks. In AWS also, based on the performance, it provides different types of EBS volumes. Those are GB3, GB2, IO1, IO2, cold HDD SC1 and ST1 and magnetic. So these are based on the performance. Performance means we need to calculate IOPS and throughput. IOPS means input output operations per second. Means how many read and write operations happening on particular device per second. Those we need to calculate. And throughput. Throughput is nothing but how much data is transferring per second. It measures in GB per second, MB per second. So based on these two values, Amazon is providing different types of EBS volumes. Those are GP3, GP2, IO1, IO2, cold HDD SC1, ST1 and magnetic. Now let's see one by one. So first is GP3. It's a general purpose SSD type. Okay, so it is useful for the many workloads. Let's go to the AWS console and see. Create a volume. General purpose SSD. Okay, so minimum size is, if you see here, minimum size is 1 GB and maximum size is 16 TB. And same thing I have mentioned here, 64 TB. And the baseline operations, IOPS, okay, input output operations per second. Minimum is 3000 and max is 80,000. Okay, same throughput 125 MB per second. So minimum is 125 and maximum is 2000. Okay, so availability zone that you know. So based on this configuration, GP3 we can select based on the requirement. So if you see the use cases here, so it is useful for the web server related applications and application servers, development, test environment, and a small to medium related database. We can also store the database in this type of volume groups, and boot related information we can store there, and general purpose workloads. So there are some advantage if you use the GP3. So lower cost than the GP2, better performance, predictable latency, and independent tuning of storage, IOPS and throughput. We can change based on our requirement. Okay, so here if you see 3000, we can change the up to 8000, and here we have 125 Mbps, and we can change up to 2000. So we can change based on our requirement. But if you choose 3000, you will get some amount of cost. I mean, you have to pay some amount of cost. If you choose 4000, you have to pay some amount of cost. It will be vary based on IOPS ranges and throughput ranges. Another one is GP2. This is also general purpose SSD type. You can see. So it is designed for the balance of price and performance. Okay. So now AWS is recommended for GP3 for new deployments, because I heard GP2 is going to decommission very soon because it's a legacy one. So if you see the settings or options available for the GP2, the size is minimum is 1 GB and maximum is 64 TB. Okay, and IOPS 300 and throughput, there is no that option. Okay, so this is the main disadvantage if you choose GP2. So that's why AWS is recommending GP3 instead of GP2. So some key features we can see. So most of the companies using GP3 instead of GP2. So existing workloads, legacy applications. It's also like same as GP3, but there is an options. If you see here, there is no options to choose our IOPS and throughput. Default one only we have to choose. So this is the main disadvantage if you use GP2. Let's see one by one. Let's see how to see some practical overview why GP2 can be expensive. Suppose your application needs storage of 100 GB and performance 3000 IOPS. Okay, with GP2, okay, 100 GB provides only 300 IOPS. If you see here, 300 only it is providing. Okay, so 3 IOPS per GB. Okay, so minimum of 100 IOPS means 3 IOPS per GB. Like this, 100 GB provides only 300 IOPS. Okay, to reach 3000 IOPS, we required around 1 TB storage. So if I choose the GP2, I need to choose 1 TB of EBS value. So I need to pay for entire 1 TB. But if you choose the GP3 for storage 100 GB one, if I choose GP3 for 100 GB, it's already providing the 3000 IOPS. So I am paying for only 100 GB, not for 1 TB. So this is the main advantage if you use the GP3. That's why cost is very less when compared to GP2. Next is IO1. It's a provision IOPS SSD, not general purpose. Okay, it's a provision one. So this is mainly using for the high critical applications which requires high consistent predictable performance, low latency, those type of applications. Okay, latency means within how many seconds we are reaching our application. Let's suppose from my laptop I am connecting to Google in google.com. I can connect google.com within 8 milliseconds, 9 milliseconds, and an average of 10 milliseconds I'm taking. The average 10 milliseconds. Within 10 milliseconds, I am able to reach google.com, Google application. Same kind of within how many milliseconds or seconds requests are able to reach your application. This is called latency. Okay, so those type of low latency applications we can use the IO1, but there is some disadvantages when compared to GP3. So if I choose IO1 provisioned IOPS SSD, here I can see minimum is 4 GB and max means 16 TB only. Okay, and IOPS if you see up to 50 IOPS per GB. Okay, so if I choose the 100, it's a maximum IOPS is 500 only. If I require more, I need to add extra. Okay, now I'm choosing the 1000. It is moving to 50,000 IOPS. So it provides only 50 IOPS per GB. This is the main disadvantage when we are using the IO1. Now another type is IO2. This is also next version of IOPS and provisioned IOPS SSD. This is also useful for the critical applications for high availability. So if you choose the IO2 here, it provides 1000 IOPS per GB, so which is high when compared to IO1. So this is the main advantage. Also, we can extend up to 64 TB, but IO1 provides only 16 TB, 16. But here 64 TB we can increase. But there is some disadvantage when you choose IO1 or IO2. There is no throughput. So by default, what application is providing or AWS is providing, that will only applicable. You can't change it. So this type of IO1 or IO2 related EBS volumes can be useful for the database related applications like SAP, HANA, Oracle database, Microsoft SQL servers. Kind of these type of database purposes we can use these storages. So another disadvantage is if you choose IO2, it's high faster than GP3 and not suitable for the general purpose workloads. So we should use only when application require high performance and high availability. The next EBS type is called HDD. This is low cost EBS value. Okay, this is HDD. Okay, hard disk drives instead of SSD. So you generally knows SSD performance very well rather than HDD. For example, if your laptop is HDD storage type, that performance is very low when compared to SSD type. Okay, so even if you see in the console called HDD, choose it. So minimum size is 125 GB and maximum is 16 TB only. IOPS, there is no IOPS. IOPS we can't choose. Okay, and throughput also very less, 6 MB per second. Okay. These are useful for backups related requirements. Okay, so if you want to store your backups or archive your data, so these type of EBS volumes are very useful. Okay, and advantages are very low cost when compared to other EBS volumes, and disadvantages high latency and poor performance. So these are not recommended for the root boot volumes for the EC2. The next one is Throughput Optimized HDD. This is also HDD EBS volume type. So this is designed for frequently accessed and throughput intensive workloads. So this is ideal for workloads that process large amount of data continuously. Okay, so provides a balance between performance and cost. If you see in the console, so called HDD, Throughput Optimized HDD, it provides minimum of 125 GB and maximum of 60 TB. So there is no IOPS when compared to cold HDD. Throughput Optimized HDD has throughput of 20 Mbps. Some key features: HDD backup storage and optimized for the high throughput like 20, right? 20 Mbps. So it is lower cost when compared to SSD volumes. So mainly advantage is a large data of to store the large amount of data. So disadvantages: high latency, low throughput. It cannot be used as a easy to root device. And the last one is magnetic one. It's a standard and oldest generation of EBS volume. It is also HDD based device. Okay, so it is useful for the small amount of data and infrequent access. Like if you don't want to access frequently your application or data, you can use this type of magnetic one. So this is also HDD, right? So we have high latency, low throughput, and cost is also very less. If you see in the console, magnetic standard, so maximum is 1 GB and minimum is 1 GB and maximum is 1 TB. There is no IOPS and there is no throughput. So as per my experience, we mostly use GP3 or IO2, okay, in real-time scenarios. But there is an advantage using IO1 and IO2. It is a multi-attach. Like we can attach the same EBS volume to multiple EC2 instances. Okay, so up to 16 instances we can attach. But if you choose the GP3, GP2, other than the IO1 and IO2, you cannot use the same EBS volume to multiple EC2 instances. So one EBS volume to one EC2 instance only. Okay, so it's like this. But if you choose the IO1 and IO2, the same EBS value can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. This is the main advantage if you use IO1 and IO2. Okay, some enterprise application requires multi-servers to access the same shared storage simultaneously. Okay, so instead of creating the separate EBS volume for each server, we can attach the multiple same EBS volume to multiple servers. So this is the small information about the EBS volume types. So when it comes to overview, so this is everything I have tabled. So features are like GP3, GP2, IO1, IO2, ST1, SC1, magnetic one. So storage type is SSD, IO1 is SSD, IO2 also SSD, and remaining three are HDD. So these are the some features I have documented. Okay, so generation and best for multi-attached. If you see, only IO1 and IO2 only supporting for the multi-attached. Remaining, it will not. So encryptions we will see in the KMS sessions. Cast, common usages, everything we have discussed already. So this is the overview about EBS value types. Let's discuss about snapshots. Snapshots are backup of EBS value at that particular moment. So for example, whatever the data is present till now in the EBS value, whenever there is an activity, you can take the backup of that particular data using the snapshots. Okay, so snapshots can be used to restore the data. We can also create the new EBS volumes, and also we can create the custom AMIs. So it is very useful when data backup we have. So these are the advantages we have whenever the disaster recovery happens. So we have the backups and easy for the restoration. And if you want to copy the same data to other AWS regions, we can also do that using the snapshots. We can also do the volume cloning. So with the same data, we can create the another new EBS value using these snapshots. Let's see in the practically. So these are the my EBS values which are existing and attached to the instance. We can take the snapshot by selecting the any one of the EBS value. Now create the snapshot. Let's see, before that, let's see what are the snapshots available. As of now, I don't have any snapshot in the Northern Virginia region. So go to the volumes, select it, create the snapshot, description, something we can give anything, backup, this volume ID. You can see we don't have any other options here. I'm creating the snapshot. So I'm taking the backup, whatever the data is present in particular, this value. Okay, so the same data is available in the snapshot. You can see in the snapshot section. You can see here. The snapshot status is still pending. Go inside the percentage, it will show here. So it will take some time to come available state. So like this, after some time, it came completed status. So like this, we can create the multiple snapshots for the EBS value. Okay. So using this snapshot, we can also create the values. So to create it, just select the EBS value, go to the actions. You can see create a value from the snapshot. Click here. I'm choosing this one, USist 1D, because my instance is present here. So that's why I'm choosing. So we can create the values here like this. And so storage also like a volume type also we can select it. And if you want to increase the size, you can also increase. IOPS, if you want to need to modify, you can modify. Then I have chosen the 1D because my instance is present in 1D location. I'm going to attach to the existing server. Okay. So the volume is created. Go to the volume sections. So this is created. Now it is available state. Click on the action, attach the value. So my instance is present. So /dev/SDD is my device name. I'm attaching it. So if you go to the instance, it will show 4 EBS values. Earlier it is 3, now it is 4. Like this, we can create the multiple snapshots and we can attach, create the EBS values and can attach to EC2 instances. See how to detach the EBS values from the EC2 instance. To detach the EBS values from the server, we need to stop it. Means it requires downtime. Okay, so downtime means we are stopping the server. Whenever you are stopping the servers, we need to take the downtime. Means we have to take the approval from the business end, means customers. So to detach stitch, select the server, go to the storage, choose whatever the EBS value you have to detach, select that one. So I'm selecting SDC because I'm not selecting the root device. Okay, select it, click on this, select, go to the actions, detach the value. So if you see, this value came to available state. Okay, it is not attached to any resource. If we want to delete, we can also delete. Just select the EBS value and delete the EBS value. Just confirm it, delete. Now we can also create the custom AMIs using snapshots. So select snapshot, create the snapshot, and we can give the image name, some test, description, anything. So architect, if you want to change it, you can change it. And root device SDA1, hardware disk, make it default one only. So if you want to change this, you can change it, and we can also create the images. So AMI is created. You can see the status once it is completed. So once it is completed or available state, we can choose the, we can launch the instance from these AMIs. Okay, the same data will be available in the server. And another advantage using this snapshot, we can copy the snapshot to another regions. For example, if your application is also present in another region, for example Mumbai region, so we required the same data. What is the present, what are the data present in the Northern Virginia, so the same data should be available in the Mumbai region as well. So we need to copy the snapshot. So to do that, select the snapshot and copy the snapshot, select the region, AP Southeast one. I think AP Southeast one is the correct one. Yeah, AP South one. And you can copy. So snapshot is copied to AP Southeast one. You can go to there. Oh, sorry, AP Southeast one is the Singapore region. That's okay, fine. It is copied to Singapore region. Okay, so once it is completed, we can create the EBS volumes in this region, and we can attach to instances what are the present in this region. So like this, snapshots are very useful as a backup. Thank you guys. If you really like this video, kindly subscribe. Thank you so much. See you in the next session.